There we go. Ooh. That was loud, right? How y'all feeling, first of all? Yeah, give me some energy, man, so I can give it back. Absolutely. Absolutely. I actually wrote some notes today to keep myself on pace because, I can ramble a little bit, but I wanted to make sure that I was, on pace. And we got a really great show that we about to introduce to you guys. First of all, my name is Andre Wright, fashion designer, co-founder of Humanize My Hoodie, producer of this fashion show, and also master of ceremony for today. This is exciting. I'm so excited. And today, we are proud partners with Great Plains Action Society, and this is the Truth Will Not Be Whitewashed fashion show. So I bet you guys are kind of wondering, like, what is that, right? And so what we're doing today is we're standing out against anything that's been whitewashed, whether it be black, whether it be indigenous, whether it be Latinx. And with the current media and everything that's going on in our world right now with the injustice system, because there ain't no justice for us, the injustice system, it's a must that we do this show. And the way we pulled everybody together today, is something really special. And when I think about when we need to stand out against injustices, this is what this looks like, right? Us coming together in unity, us coming together as a team, us coming together with different backgrounds, different cultural differences, and all those different things, and us bringing something impactful together. I'm excited about the models because a lot of them just met each other for the first time last night. Like, for real, they just met each other. And so the cohesiveness of the show is something special. And, we got to share space last night and, build some relationship, which was phenomenal. And I was just telling my partner about that when we walked up. But keeping us on pace, there's some business that I have to handle. They wanted me to make sure that I let everybody know that you have to wear your mask. So make sure you stay masked up. We want to make sure we keep everybody safe. We don't want anyone to get sick. I also want to make sure we acknowledge all the sponsors that we have tonight. There should be a screen coming up behind me, and I'll make sure I acknowledge each one of those sponsors. So Chomp from Iowa City, Beloved Community Initiative, Chrysalis, One America. This is a tough one, man. It's hard to say this one. Doze Kuzi, XBK, and Lush. You guys all give them a round of applause for helping us make this happen today. If it wasn't for them, we would still be doing the show, but it just wouldn't be as easy. So appreciate all our sponsors for supporting us today. We also want to do land acknowledgements because we recognize the land that we're on is stolen. But I'm not going to do them land acknowledgements. Madison Ray is going to come up, and he's going to do the land acknowledgements.
We want to acknowledge that we are standing on stolen land stolen from the Iowa and Meskwaki. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Yeah, we standing on stolen land. As I've been building with the indigenous culture for the last 5 years and made so many dear friends and met so many wonderful people over the last few days, I have to reflect to, when we actually started doing these truth-giving events. And Sakawas and her team with Great Plains Action Society have been doing these for 5 years now. But they partnered with us last year, and we gave out hoodies. They've given out food. They've had events with speakers and music. So they've done a lot of different things to build liberation and to bring togetherness together for all, And so I'm excited about the opportunity to continue working with them and to continue to build a truth-giving community. And really what we're trying to do is really get away from the myth of Thanksgiving, which is not true, right? It's a myth. Like, all of our history's been whitewashed. And to speak to that point, I actually have something that Sikawas wrote, and it was beautiful, and I told her that I wasn't going to batch that up, so I actually got it on my phone so I could say it really eloquently. And so this is what the truth-giving meaning is. The truth is that the real history has been whitewashed, and that Thanksgiving perpetuates white supremacy and romanticizes notions about indigenous people. To celebrate the current Thanksgiving mythology is to celebrate theft of land through ethnic cleansing and enslavement. It's a lie that overlooks the genocide of Native Americans, indigenous peoples, and enslavement of African indigenous people in order for settler vigilantes and colonial militia to steal land and labor, the legacy of which is still felt today. So as we look into everything that's happened over the last few days, I want to just talk about some of the truths. I mentioned it earlier. Our justice system is the injustice system. It seems to me that we have two justice systems, one that wants to cage us and enslave us, and the other one that allows other people to get off for murder and killing people. And it's really prevalent today. The other truth I want to bring to attention is the truth of togetherness. Because as comrades and as people in the struggle, and as we continue to fight for liberation and we continue to build, this is the way we do that with each and every one of you in the room. So if you're feeling angry, if you're feeling uncertain, if you're feeling scared, join us. Join our organizations. Help us fight against that terror of white supremacy and everything that we see in this world today. So this is more than just a show. This is more than just a show. This is a stand. This is us taking ownership in who we are, and we're building the future. This is what the future looks like. It looks like us together. That's all I'm going to say as far as my piece. Welcome into the space. I hope you guys feel centered. We got a really great show. We're going to bring a lot of noise. We're going to bring a lot of action. I'm so blessed to be here, and I'm so thankful for all of you guys being here. Thank you. Enjoy the show.
Okay. Ooh. I guess it's safe for me to take this off, but I'm sorry, I'm not as pretty as my mask. My name in the language of my people is Inechia Biwa Chiwitasha Atena Tenkashila. But you can call me Ralph. I've been asked to warm you up before we start, and I'm warm already with my hoodie. But I'd like to maybe share a little story with you. I thought I'd educate you a little bit about my people. This is a flute, and the flute is an important tool in my tribe. It's not sacred, it's not a religious item. It's a tool used by the men of our tribe to help them find girlfriends. So guys, pay attention, okay? This might be important to you someday. Girls go crazy over this kind of stuff. I like to play my flute, up on the hill. And in my day, each song belonged to the flute player. So that means no one else could play it unless I gave it to them as a gift. Or, they bought it from me. So everybody knew who I was when I was playing my flute and where I was, so my parents knew what I was doing and where I was playing my flute. But my home usually was on the far side of the village, and I'd have to travel through many lodges in our village to get to the spot on the hill. And as I'm traveling, I'd see many beautiful faces, and I'd say, "Hi, do you remember me? You know the song I play on the hill all the time? Tonight is just for you, okay? Just for you." But that's a long way to that hill. So I'd stop and say, "Hi, you remember me, right? You know that song I play on the hill all the time? Tonight it's going to be just for you. But since it takes a little longer for me to get there, I say, oh, hi, Jen. Do you remember me? You know the song I play on the evening breeze as it travels through the valley? Tonight it's going to be just for you, okay? So I'd play my little flute. Thank you. Thank you. You're very kind. I've been asked to take 5 minutes, and I can't tell when it's 5 minutes, so I'll just go until I feel like I should stop. And if I go too long, I'm sure they'll pull a hook out here and grab me. What we're doing here today is a great privilege for me to be a part of. My family has, for over 20 years now, brought together the community of different races, different peoples, to share their heritage, their way of living in our circle. We call it the White Eagle Powwow. And someday, when you get a chance in your little computer things, you might want to type that in, or type in my name, because I think you can Google it. And I thought that was an obscene thing to do until I realized what it was. Googling doesn't sound like it's what it is. So, bringing people together like in events like this is a great joy in my heart, a joy that I hope each of you feel and strive for. Yes, we are each have been separated by the movement of the continents, by the traveling of our people, so that there are different worlds where our ancestors grew up in. And we didn't know until recently, these last 100 years, that each of us have part of the truth. If we can come together in peace and harmony and understanding just to listen. But right now, our world is filled with people who want to divide us and separate us and make us hate each other and attack. Let's try not to let that happen to us. Let's try to move forward and think of the lives our children must live. And toward this end, I would like to offer a prayer. In my travels, I've seen people pray in many ways. Most close their eyes. Some bow their heads. I've seen people kneeling, lay prostrate on the ground. But I have been taught to look up to my Creator with eyes open and ask for His blessing. Hope you'll join me. Hautanka shila wakatanka. Kate uyetopa na ate wakatanka. Nama humpo. Grandfather, Great Spirit, Four Winds and Father Spirit, hear me. I stand upon our Mother Earth. I ask you to help us in our struggles, to keep us in peaceful minds, that we might walk forward with hope and understanding, that we might listen to our neighbor, not to judge him, but to understand him, that we might forget about the hate that is being pushed on us at this time in our lives, to look beyond the words of those who try to lead us astray, to help us in our path to walk side by side towards a world of peace, towards a world of understanding. Help us, Creator, to know those things that we should encourage and to fight in peaceful ways against those things that would draw us apart. I ask these things for all whose hearts are open to listen. And I ask you to open the hearts of those who do not understand and choose to fight us. Thank you, Creator, for the challenges that we have faced these past few years. Thank you for giving us the strength to understand who our friends and our people are that need our support. Keep us walking in beauty before you. Aho, Natakiasa. Thank you.
Let's give it up one more time for Jess Lopez Walker. She makes full body sets, and she has added ribbon skirts and other traditional clothing. She likes making skirts to show the different ideas, emotions, and cultural awareness. Next we have culture. This is a line that was originated to make space for Black communities as well as other marginalized people. The clothing is a prayer of protection for the community in a tangible form, with the hope that all those who wear them are fully covered in divine protection.
Woo! Bring 'em out, bring 'em out, bring 'em out, bring 'em out. It's hard to yell when the barrel's in your mouth. Come on. Bring 'em out, bring 'em out. Hey. Bring 'em out, bring 'em out. Yeah. Bring 'em out, bring 'em out. Hey. Bring 'em out, bring 'em out.
VIP coming live from the VIP. Heard the nightlife, lost life without me. Both feds in the state wanna see about me. The whole city got pissed, heard he got 3. That other rapper got a hit, but shouted he not out. Who set the city on fire soon as he got free? The king back now. Raws don't even know how to act now. Hit the club, strippers getting naked before I sat down. Still ballin', money stacked tall in the shack now. Still push a button to let the roof on the lag down. I'm on the road doing shows, put my Mac down. Mississippi to Philly, Albuquerque to Chat Town. I got the crowd yelling.
Bring 'em out, bring 'em out.
All my hot girls yelling.
Bring 'em out, bring 'em out.
All the dope boys yelling.
Bring 'em out, bring 'em out.
Front the back gate yelling.
Bring 'em out,
I'm
bring 'em out.
to get with other southern rapper hooded than this. I got rich and I'm still in a hooligan clique. You be rapping by blow, I was moving the brick. You talk about shooting out, now we're doing it, prick. If I hit you in the face, you gon' be suing me quick. If I catch another case, I know it truly be missed. So I'ma keep a cool head, stay out of the news headlines, and show these other rappers it's bedtime. It's clear to see that I'm ahead of my time. I caught the chromed out, hard talk, career with a shine. I got some time, there ain't nothing, I get better with time. Who got a flow and a live show better than mine? I got a packed house yelling.
Bring 'em out, bring 'em out.
All my hot girls yelling.
Bring 'em out, bring 'em out.
All the dope boys yelling.
Bring 'em out, bring 'em out.
Front the back gate yelling.
Bring 'em out,
Yeah, keep them claps going. Keep them claps going. Yeah, let's go. Let's make some noise.
When you show up on the scene with 2 guns drew on you and your friend and play a little 2-on-2. If you do half of what I do, you'll be hitting the deck. I got a tool and a vest, I can get some respect. I'ma make it hard for another sucker to flex.
Yeah.
So squad for a sucker to test.
Yeah.
Too large and we way too fresh. Work well when and quick to check a lane like a game of chess. You wanna be better, bring your best. Cause we'll be standing in your front yard yelling.
Bring 'em out, bring 'em out.
All my hot girls yelling.
Bring 'em out, bring 'em out.
All the dope boys yelling.
Bring 'em out, bring 'em out.
Front the back gate yelling.
Bring 'em out, bring 'em out.
Front yard yelling.
Bring 'em out, bring 'em out.
All my hot girls yelling.
Bring 'em out, bring 'em out.
All the dope boys yelling.
Bring 'em out, bring 'em out.
Front the back gate yelling.
Bring 'em out, bring 'em out.
What's happening, shouting? The king back. I know y'all miss a pimp, right? Yeah, but dig, there's been a lot of hate going on, okay? So let me holler at you something. First of all, look at here, dog. You might have seen me in the street, but shouting, you don't know me. When you holler, when you speak, remember you don't know me. Save all the hating and the popping, pimping, you don't know me. Quit telling people you my partner, listen, you don't know me. Don't be a groupie, keep it moving, shouting, you don't know me. Hey, I ain't tripping, pimp, the truth is really, you don't know me. Yeah, you know they call me T.I., but you don't know me. You be hating and I see why, cause you don't know me. I think it's time I made a song for people who don't know me. I graduated at the streets, I'm a real O.
Woo! Bring 'em out, bring 'em out, bring 'em out, bring 'em out. It's hard to yell when the barrel's in your mouth. Come on. Bring 'em out, bring 'em out. Hey. Bring 'em out, bring 'em out.
Yeah.
Bring 'em out, bring 'em out. Hey. Bring 'em out, bring 'em out.
VIP coming live from the VIP. Heard the nightlife, lost life without me. Both feds in the state wanna see about me. The whole city got pissed, heard he got 3. That other
Let's give it up one more time for Culture Line. Next up, we got Chica Dahlia. She is inspired to change the world one clothing piece at a time. Okay, hey, changing the plan. My team telling me we got a different line, but you know what? It's Humanize My Hoodie, so let's keep it real with Humanize My Hoodie. Next, we got Humanize My Hoodie. And this is, I'm the co-founder of this line. This clothing line is to stand up against threat perception of black and indigenous people when wearing hoodies, with the model that we need to be humanized and not criminalized. Next up, Humanize My Hoodie.
They should arrest you or whoever trusts you. Ain't gon' stress you, but I'ma let you know, girl, you be killing them. You be killing them, girl, you be killing them. You be killing them, girl, you be killing them. You be killing them, girl, you be killing them. You ain't gotta worry about her, shorty straight. Been chasing her for 2 days, first 48. Her bad cause, she worth every cent. She look like the best money that I ever spent. Just watching my cutie pie get beautified. Make me want better jewels, a newer ride. Louboutin shoes, she got too much pride. Her feet are killing her, I call it suicide. Looking good has its sacrifices. Chilly weather bring 4-figure jacket prices. Her body nice, FaceTime, give you that iPhone 4, FaceTime. Shorty in the streets, still handle the home. Enough class for wine, still handle Patron. When the mother call, I handle the phone, and she handle the tone. You what's up, girl? Ain't gotta ask it. I did them all now. Hop out of caskets. They should arrest you or whoever dress you. Ain't gon' stress you, but I'ma let you know, girl. You be killing them. You be killing them, girl. You be killing them. You be killing them, girl. You be killing them. You be killing them, girl. You be killing them. Yeah, I know that's what they all says. She got a donkey with a warm Valdez. Keep it clean cut like ball heads. Been playing with that green long as ball pairs. So you got a ball harder than the ball players. All she wanna know is their ballness. Can't falter, the last falter, but he ain't it up. I assault her. Should've seen her come to me when I called her. Slow strut like
Let's
she
give it
walking
up
to
for
the
Humanize
altar.
My Hoodie. I got something special for y'all. Something special. I'm just gonna set the mic right here. She gonna come out and do her thing. So it's special. It's a surprise.
Kweyowetsi, umeteteri yatsig. Hello, my name is She Recognizes Her Voice, and I am from the Huron-Wendat Nation. I am a violinist here in the Des Moines area, and I use my platform to raise awareness on Indigenous issues. So I would like to perform for you 2 pieces that I've composed that address separate issues within our community. This first one is a tribute to raise awareness for the missing and murdered Indigenous women movement. In our communities, the color red, many of us believe that it's the only color that the spirits can see. So when we hang the red dresses up in the trees, it's in a way our way of inviting the lost spirits back to find their way home again. So, Tsiawinkin, and I hope you enjoy this. This is for the Stolen Sisters. Siawink. Siawinkinen. Thank you so much. This next piece is a relatively new composition, and I really wanted to perform it today because it's really important. I'm sure most of you have already heard about the findings of the Indigenous children in the residential school. And the reality is that in our communities, we've known about this trauma. It's been an intergenerational trauma. Every single person in the Indigenous community has family members that were in the residential school program. And so many children still have not found their way home. So I took a piece of music from my nation, and I wanted to dedicate this piece to the residential school children who never made it home. This is called Les Petits Mocs, which means the little moccasins.
Told y'all it was something special. Something special. Okay, our next line is Chica Dahlia. She's inspired to change the world one clothing piece at a time. The goal being love, peace, unity, self-love, and culture appreciation.
I've been everywhere, man, looking for someone who can please me, love me all night long. I've been everywhere, man, looking for you, babe, looking for you, babe, searching for you, babe. Where have you been? 'Cause I never see you out.
Let's keep them claps going. Yeah.
I've been everywhere, man, looking for someone who can please me, love me all night long. I've been everywhere, man, looking for you, babe, looking for you,
Let's
babe,
go.
searching for you, baby. Where have you been? 'Cause I never see you out. Are you hiding from me? Yeah. Somewhere in the crowd. I've been everywhere, man, looking for someone who can please me, love me all night long. I've been everywhere, man, looking for you, babe, looking for you, babe, searching for you, babe. I've been everywhere, man, looking for someone who can please me, love me all night long. I've been everywhere, man, looking for you, babe, looking for you, babe, searching for you.
Let's give it up one more
babe.
time for Chica Dahlia. And last but not least, we have Sunrose Iron Shell, which means warrior status. It's a fashion concept focused on empowering Native youth, cultural sustainability, and make indigenous global connections. The line promotes cultural sustainability and telling the truth about our indigenous history. Let's give one big round of applause for Sunrose Iron Shell.
Bismillah. Hey, showing living by the G code. What the fuck is fleek though? Don't ask them, what do he know? What I forgot is better than whatever they remember. Never mind, I'm off it, it's quiet form. Time to put the temper tantrums to the quiet corner. Hush, that's enough, said the ruler. No suckers allowed to break bread or asunder. The daylight, lightning, and the thunder. The sun, moon, the stars, and the hunger. Abundance in bundles, blessings and troubles. Towers and tunnels, views and valleys, waves and peaks. Streets you from, son, planet Earth. And ain't scared of no Mars attack. What type of bars is that? Stay off my jack. I'm out they corny riot garments, top 5 dial on them. Super fly, slicker, top pro, equals diving on them. You why you lying, homie? You won't play with my emotions, smoky. Big chief, heart rate, big beat, B-E-Y, I seen straight jacket, come clean, big said it was a dream. Now it's a living thing, with you and living kings, I mean it, I mean it. Yasin in the R.E.B. I mean it, original nation, with one solid, I mean it, straight jacket, come clean, Yasin and Yasin in the R.E.B. Original nation, with one solid, we're true and living, you know we're true and living. R.E.B. Tribe called the R.E.B. Tribe called R.E.B. Tribe called the R.E.B. Tribe called Illuminati. Emergency on planet Earth. The currency is murder, you a man of worth. They say the day is coming, drumming that you can't reverse. Watch the banner burn before the cannon bursts. Don't chase an illusion, the nation hallucina. Hallelujah, taste of the future. The people that shower, the pistol, the coward that tracing the suture. Lonely martyrs, magic carpets, dirty blankets, Coca-Cola, soul controller, holy waters. Middle East mode, sand glorious. Cheat code in Babylonian, the Orient. My superhero got the people power. Yasin and Yasin, you should heed the hour. With you and living kings, I mean it, I mean it. Yasin and Yasin in the R.E.B. I mean
Let's give it up one more time for Iros. Bring them out, bring them out.
Bring them out, bring them out, bring them out, bring them out. It's hard to yell when the barrel's in your mouth. Come on.
Let's give it up
Bring them out,
for the Truthsgiving fashion show. The truth will not be whitewashed.
VIP coming live from the VIP. Heard the nightlife, lost life without me. Both the feds in the state wanna see by me. The whole city got pissed, heard he got 3. That other rapper got
Keep
a
them
hit.
claps going. Keep them claps going.
As soon as he got free, the king
Keep
back
them claps
now.
going.
Don't even know how to act now. Hit the club, strippers getting naked before I sat down. Still ballin', money stacked tall and shack now. Still push a button to let the roof on the lag down. I'm on the road doing shows, put my Mac down. Mississippi to Philly, Albuquerque to Chat Town. I got the crowd yelling. Bring them out, bring them out. I'm a hot girl yelling. Bring them out, bring them out. All the dope boys yelling. Bring them out, bring them out. Front the back gate yelling. Bring them out, I got rich and I'm still in a hooligan clique. You be rapping by blow, I don't move in the brick. Talk about
Thank you. One final piece by Ralph. Let's give it up one more time for Ralph, man. That was phenomenal, man. Absolutely. 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 Keep them round of applause going. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank you for putting this together. It's been an honor and powerful message.
Thank you. What y'all think? Yeah, I felt that too back there too. I was like, man, I didn't know what to expect today. I know I expected really great things and amazing things, but I really didn't know that it was gonna be like that. Like, for real, I'm just being all honest. And every one of those models worked really, really hard to put on a show and celebrate with you and show togetherness. That's what I saw today. Again, not everybody in the room back there knew each other, and you could see the cohesiveness in the show by the simple acts of just showing kindness and love. You know what I'm saying? Who all felt the love in here today? Just give me a show of hands. The other thing I saw back there was lives being transformed in real time, which I don't typically get to see every day, but when I do, I always want to celebrate that. So these lives were changed today, and you guys got to experience that as well. A couple things I wanted to bring to acknowledgement. This is also Transgender Transgender Remembrance Day. So we also want to make sure we celebrate that as well as we're acknowledging that along with Truthsgiving. So let's give a round of applause for all the transgender folks because we want to make sure we support. We're talking about humanizing people. We need to humanize all people, not just Black, Indigenous, but all different backgrounds of people. So I want to make sure we recognize that today, and thank you for that. I didn't do this alone. There was a lot of people in the background that actually helped, so I want to actually bring out all the designers and just keep the rounds of applause going. Just keep it going. Just keep it going. Let me bring out all the designers. Ronisha, Chica Dahlia, Jess, and myself. Also, let's give it up for the stylists, Alicia and Jamie. Phenomenal. They did amazing, made my job really easy. And Chica Dahlia for doing hair and makeup. Let's give it up for her too. She had some duality with her role today. And last but not least, I also want to bring out the OG, the founder of Truthsgiving, Sakawis from Great Plains Action Society. So let's give it up for Sakawis. Come on out here, yeah.
Hi, kitata mahin. That means thank you in my language, Plains Cree. And I also want to say tanse, mio pone pitigisagao. Hello, good afternoon. This is actually one of the first times I've been nervous to be on stage. I don't know what it is. I think it's the lighting. It's an honor to be here today. I was just crying backstage because I saw these wonderful people doing their thing and I just burst out crying. I didn't expect that. I just love them so much. They're such beautiful people. They're such wonderful souls. And to have this opportunity to prepare for this event has been really good for my heart. I think it's been good for all of us. I think we're onto something kind of cool, and I don't want to stop doing it. So watch out for more events like this because because we need more joy. We need more radical joy too. And this is radical joy. Black and brown folks doing this work is radical joy. So we'll be doing a lot more of that. Black and brown folks are people of the world majority. I know we use the word BIPOC a lot, right? Because it's easy, it's a good acronym, it kind of encompasses everybody. I feel like it's quite exclusionary, frankly, because POC is not necessarily that descriptive. But people of the world majority, that makes more sense, and we need to use that term more often because it takes power away from the white and the elite. We are the people of the world majority. We are more than where Europeans, have expanded from. So I just wanted to start by saying that because as, kind of hard it is to get used to or, to start using that term, it makes more sense, it gives us more power. And unfortunately, that's not the perception in this country because of media, because of this government, and all of its brutal militias, which are whitewashing history, which means they are erasing the past. They are erasing genocide. They are erasing colonization. They are erasing slavery. White supremacists, imperialists, settler invaders, colonial militias, the British, whatever you want to say, they settled this country. Well, they didn't settle it, they stole it. They stole this country at the point of a gun for free land and for free labor. Now, if this is the case, right, when we all know this is the case, then why does this country always say that it's a place of freedom, liberty, and equality? It's like, oh, we got our act together now, and here we are, and everybody's free, everybody's equal, blah, blah, blah. So then why did Trump try to ban critical race theory last year, if this is the case, right? So even though the courts denied this ban, 18 states, 18 Trumpanzee governors decided to move forward with it, mostly because they're butthurt that their white supremacist leader didn't get elected again, but also because they're white supremacists themselves. So 18 states have banned critical race theory, and our state, this state right here, is one of them. So what is critical race theory? Critical race theory is diversity, equity, and inclusion training. Critical race theory is anti-racism training. It's learning about misogyny. It's learning about the LGBTQIA folks. It's learning real history. That's what it is, real history. And this is why we're coming back to Truthsgiving, because this is why we started this campaign. I started organizing around Truthsgiving, or organizing a Truthsgiving event about, 5 years ago now, publicly. I celebrated it in my household, like just, with the family. Oh, it's not Thanksgiving, it's Truthsgiving, because I'm Indigenous. Like, I find Thanksgiving annoying. It's insulting. It's a joke. It's a mythology. Truthsgiving is real. It's telling the facts. Thanksgiving is a lie. It's a mythology, and it brings stereotypes, more power. So we need to get away from that. So last year, we partnered with Humanize My Hoodie, with Andre and Jason, and we started selling these hoodies. Not selling, we actually gave them away. We gave away like 100 hoodies and masks that say truth. And I don't think anybody wore one today, the masks. But we just kept going with it because people like it. They like that slogan. The truth will not be whitewashed. It makes sense because that's exactly what's happening. And because the truth is being whitewashed, we keep perpetuating the same crap. We can't change if we don't want to admit what happened. You know, people are still struggling from the aftermath of everything. And it's not even the aftermath, because I am old enough to have attended a residential school. My school, the one at my reservation, Gordon Indian School, was the longest running residential school in the country, and my cousins went to it. So we are not far from all that stuff. We are not out of it. We are not out of colonization. We're not out of genocide. So this is what we need to understand. This is, for me, the basic thing that I want people to understand. Stop asking why the government is not doing its job. Stop saying, why isn't the government protecting the land? Why isn't the government protecting the people? The government is not going to do that because that's not this government's job. This government was never set up to do that. This government is built on white supremacy. It's built to take the land. It's built to extract from the land. It's built to enslave people. That's what it has always been, and that is what it is continuing to be. And it's because we celebrate Thanksgiving. It's because we celebrate 4th of July and Halloween with the horrible costumes. And it's because we still see people in blackface, and we still see teachers dancing around with headdresses on, embarrassing and creating violence for students in classrooms. It's because we are still being, dehumanized, which is why Human Is My Hoodie exists, because he knows right there, he saw that. They do not see us as human. So that's the problem, and this is why we have to decolonize, we have to rematriate. These are words that are rather new, so if you don't know what I'm talking about, please look it up. And this is why this year, when you go home to your families and you're celebrating Thanksgiving, say to yourself, this is Truthsgiving, and I'm going to talk to my relatives about this, and I'm going to take the pledge, which you can at truthsgiving.org, and you can promise to try and change minds. So I'd like to just say thanks for being here and listening to me rant. And then I would like to invite our next guest up, who is representing One Iowa. And I think it's very important that they be up here, because this is a National Day of Remembrance for transgender folks. And this is very important because this ban that COVID Kim has put in place, it actually also affects sex. And so that affects, the continuation of, it empowers the continuation of misogyny. It empowers the oppression of LGBTQIA folks, because it basically says in this legislation that you can't make the white heteropatriarchy feel bad. So I'd like to bring Keenan Crow up on the stage to talk about that.
Thank you so much for having me. My name's Keenan Crow. I use they and them pronouns. I'm a non-binary person, and I fit under the transgender umbrella, which is what we're talking about today. So I wanted to thank first the organizers for having this event. The piece of legislation that Sakawas was just talking about, and that partially motivated this event, HF 802, is serious. And while it has been characterized by the press as just being about race, as was just stated, it's also about sex, which means it also targets transphobia, homophobia, sexism, etc. So wanted to again thank the organizers for inviting me up here to talk about that legislation and to talk about Transgender Day of Remembrance. Transgender Day of Remembrance is an international holiday that's held every year on November 20th to memorialize those people who have been murdered from transphobia. I'm sad to say that 371 transgender people have been murdered this year alone, and over 50 of those here in the US, which is actually the highest number on record since we began counting, both internationally and in the US, the vast majority of whom are transgender people of color. The hate groups are getting stronger, they're getting more vocal, and they're getting more willing to act. And that brings me back to the ban on teaching about the truth. This isn't just a ban on critical race theory, it's a ban on teaching about certain subjects that has an unspoken assumption. And you can put that assumption before any of the parts of that bill, and you'll figure out exactly what's going on. So let's try it. The assumption we're going to add to this is even though it's true. Even though it's true, you can't teach people about systemic racism in our state. Even though it's true, you can't tell people that implicit bias exists. Even though it's true, you can't make people feel uncomfortable. And that last one is particularly disgusting, and those words are literally in the bill. It says you can't induce discomfort, because people need to be uncomfortable right now. Violence against transgender and non-binary people, violence against any marginalized community doesn't come out of nowhere, right? The violence starts with a lie. And a lie often sounds like these people are dangerous or these people are going to corrupt your children, right? We know what those lies look like. We've heard them all a million times. And that lie leads to exclusion, and then exclusion leads to increased acceptance of verbal abuse, and that verbal abuse leads to increased acceptance of physical violence. You see, violence is a continuum, and if it isn't interrupted, it continues to escalate. So I'm here today asking you to interrupt that continuum. Don't let people tell those lies. Don't let people push others to the margins of society. Don't let people slander and defame entire groups because of their discomfort and their inability to think outside the narrow parameters that they view as acceptable. We need you to push back now more than ever, because we're starting to see more and more progression along that continuum. This year wasn't just a record for transgender deaths, it was also a record for anti-transgender legislation. We had 15 pieces of anti-LGBTQ legislation introduced at the State House this year. And out of those 15, 13 of those specifically targeted transgender people, and 8 of them, over half, were focused exclusively on taking the rights away of transgender youth, transgender young people. We're on a 2-year cycle at the legislature. So on January 10th, all 15 of those pieces of legislation become eligible for debate again, as well as anything else that they introduce as well. So transgender and non-binary Iowans are under attack, and we need your help. So how can you help? Well, you can start by volunteering with groups that are pushing back against these measures. Groups like you're seeing here, like Great Plains Action Society, like One Iowa, etc. We need people to enter data. We need people to edit press releases. We need people to make phone calls. We need people to motivate other folks to take action. So if that sounds like something you want to do, come see me after this. More important than anything, though, is just taking action. If you see someone excluding transgender folks, speak up. If people in your family or your friend group are telling lies about transgender people, speak up. Don't let us get further down that continuum. Take action. The organizers of this event have provided you a model. They had a great event and they realized they needed somebody to speak up for transgender people, so what did they do? They took action. They not only put together this event, but they included our voices and our experiences, even though they didn't have to. So I invite you all today, take action. Take action on white supremacy, take action on transphobia, take action. Don't let these lies take yet another life. Thank you.
Just a few more things. I'm gonna let Sakawa's go into her action items, and
We have another speaker.
we do?
Yep.
Oh, okay, we got another speaker.
We have Keely Driscoll and Alexandria Walker, our 2 youth organizers with Great Plains Action Society. And they have been building their own repeal the ban on critical race theory campaign. So they're here to talk to you about that today because the youth, need to be heard, and they're doing a really good job.
Ho, jogi mawakwa natashis, kili drisco natashis, mukamani swan, namawewis, nadakan, nishwabidag na good nataswi babun.
Hinikarige, chakshep jujinga hingare na. My name is Alexandria Walker.
And I'm Keely Driscoll. And we're here to talk to you about Iowa House File 802, which was signed by Kim Reynolds earlier this year.
Iowa House File 802 bans the teaching of the truth, and it bans the teachings and trainings of the fact that the United States and Iowa is systemically racist and sexist.
As was mentioned by some of our amazing speakers before us, these systematic racism continues to exist throughout the institutions of our country. We know this because we have experienced it firsthand. Our introductions that we have provided you today are due to our own hard work and the hard work of our tribes through language revitalization programs. Because those things, from our language to our culture to our identity, were taken away from our people and continue to be regulated through blood quantum, CDIBs, through oppression. And so at the age of 8 years old, I was asked by my elementary school teacher to stand up in front of the class and to tell my peers about the history of this country because I was Native American. There are over 570 federally recognized tribes today, and more are unrecognized due to the history of colonization and erasure. And I am just Meskwaki and Winnebago, and I am not qualified as an 8-year-old to talk about history. I'm not qualified or knowledgeable about the various languages, cultures, and religions of all of the other distinct sovereign nations that continue to thrive and exist today. But I was asked to do this nonetheless because racism and ignorance continue to persist despite all of this legislation that has been passed that are used by people to claim that this country is free today for all people. And it is not, because people of color continue to carry this burden of having to educate people who refuse to learn the truth.
In response to this, Keely and I have created a campaign called Anti-Racism Education under Great Plains Action Society, and we've been working on this for over the last 6 months since the banning of sex trainings and racism education has been banned in the state of Iowa. We do have a petition. You can sign it on the website, and if not, we can get you the link. For us, this work, us especially as youth, we're the next generation. We're going to be leading these positions of power. We need to get this information out and know that this isn't right, and we should be teaching the truth.
Our ancestors worked hard to maintain our culturally distinctiveness, to maintain a presence, and to avoid the assimilation and genocidal tactics that were pushed for the last 200 years. And so we are doing this to be geared to ancestors, to the future generations, for our planet, and I really just hope that you guys all take the time to sign the petition and have these really difficult discussions, because our younger generations are uncomfortable with the fact that they might not have water to drink, that their realities are not accepted in mainstream society. And so please help carry that. Help carry the truth. Thank you all. Gadabi.
Hinigigi.
And now, we got some more action items from Sakalis.
So, go to truthsgiving.org, check it out. The website is on the program. You can pick up a program on your way out. Just read, educate yourself, and very importantly, please vote. And yeah, it's a colonial system. It's a screwed up system. But everything we do comes down to legislation. I hate to say it, but it always is that way. Everything. When we're fighting at the front lines, when we're trying to stop a pipeline, when we're trying to, get better education, when we're trying to change, how cops work and, get the brutality to go away, it all comes down to legislation. So I hope everybody here is registered to vote. If you're not, you can click on the QR code on your way out and you can register to vote. Because we're in for a really big fight in 2022. Because we need to get Kim Reynolds out of office. And not just Kim Reynolds, but there's been a real domino effect with what Trump started last year, because it went from Trump to the states, and now it's in the school boards. This year was abysmal for school board races. White supremacist, right-wing people won by a lot. So right now, Johnston County is trying to ban 2 books in particular, The Hate You Give and Diaries of a Part-Time Indian, a Black author, an indigenous author. And they say that what's the senator's name? He wants to give felonies to people that teach these books. So it's getting that bad. And not only that, but we've got Indianola, where a bunch of white supremacists won there, and now they're doubling down on their mascot issue, and they're like, well, we're a majority now, so we're not going to talk about this mascot issue anymore. We're going to keep it. So do you know, can you believe that we are still tokenized in that way as mascots? It's ridiculous. So we need to do more. Also, the other thing I want to say is that we're talking like critical race theory, or whatever you want to call it, diversity, equity, inclusion training, and all anti-racism, real history, is actually being taught in the first place. It's not. I mean, my son's textbook just a couple years ago started talking about the building of Seattle as if nothing existed there in the first place. A bunch of boats showed up, and there you go, there's Seattle. So we're not teaching real history to our children, which is why we're having this issue in Iowa City right now, where a bunch of teenagers are feeling threatened by children that are picking up on these white supremacist sentiments, and the school board is doing nothing about it. So we need to do better. So my ask is that when you go home, think about the education that we're giving to our children. Think about the policies within our institutions and try to change them wherever you are. Go to those places of power wherever you have a connection and try to make that change. And make sure you register to vote. Make sure you vote. And besides that, those are the action items that I'd like to see happen, and I'll give it to Andre to close out.
Man, ditto to everything she said. Ditto. Yeah. So I don't need to follow up anything you just said. Oh my God, that was so powerful. She spoke truth to power, and I felt it, and I know you guys felt it. I know y'all felt it. So to lighten the mood just a little bit, we got some gifts in the back. So everybody, make sure you take a gift when you leave. We want to make sure we celebrating you for coming and sharing space with us today.
And a zine. What's that? And a zine. Get a zine.
And a zine. So make sure you grab a zine and you grab a gift on your way out. We also have some products, hoodies and T-shirts, if you want to celebrate with us and wear this at your Thanksgiving table next week. Have that conversation. You know what I'm saying? A real conversation. Tell the truth during Thanksgiving. We have those hoodies back there as well. What else should I? Is there anything else that I'm forgetting
We
now?
should just have everybody come up on stage.
We want to bring. Okay.
Yeah.
We're bringing everybody back on stage, I guess. Come on, y'all. Let's go.
Mahmoud and Jessica and Ronnie, come on
Yeah.
up. Volunteers, come on up.
Yes. Come on up. Everybody
Mahmoud
who's a part of the
Patil,
fashion show, everybody come on
Genevieve.
up. Look at all these beautiful folks we got together in community and created this amazing fashion show. We spoke truth to power today. We brung the truth. You know the truth now. So now it's time, your turn to go and spread that truth. Go spread the truth. Yeah, keep them round of applauses going for all these beautiful, amazing, amazing young souls. Amazing folks to put together, and we organized today. This is a different type of organizing. Yeah, come on, Jess, Mahmoud.
Where are you, Keenan?
Let's go. Let's give it up for one more time for XBK for hosting this amazing event today. We're so excited about everything that's happened. Thank you, guys. It's been a pleasure working with everybody. We're so grateful. We are so grateful.
Thank you.
Thank you.